Hello there and welcome to the Star Wars Showcase YouTube channel. I have a short video up here today as I just wanted to detail for you the steps that I took to repaint my Black Series Marrok. Let's take a look. Now for starters, I think our Black Series Marrok has a really great sculpt, but those paint applications are severely lacking. As you can see, what are meant to be kind of those orangish, kind of rustish effects are just way too pronounced. I feel they don't come off the right way, and that the kind of silver, more burnt look of his armor as well is very plasticky looking. It almost feels like we're looking at, an action figure from Fortnite or something else, as opposed to this more kind of beat down former Inquisitor character who, at its core, is really just meant to be like a reanimated suit of armor. In like a classic Arthurian sense, Morgan Le Fay, or Morgan Elsbeth in this case, has, used some kind of magic to make this armor come back to life and fight against kind of our mythological protagonists. And so I like all this kind of, mythology and all these ideas behind this figure, and wanted to do, I think, more justice to the sculpt that we got. So here's a close-up look at Marrok as I've repainted him using a little bit more of a gunmetal and more muted look here. And I was able to accomplish this by just using two very thin layers of paint, essentially across all of his metal armor pieces. And I actually left the black alone. I didn't mind how that looked, but really just two thin coats there, as well as some additional rust effect weathering, I think really brings out more of the essence of this character. And the exact paint I used here is this Army Painter gunmetal. This is one of my favorites for different like dry brushing or weathering techniques, but also looks really great when you're painting like more medieval inspired armor. For those rust effects, I made use of a Tamiya weathering kit. This is almost like a makeup application where you're taking, this little sponge, kind of wiping it around in this palette, and then dabbing on those different effects. And I think it all came together for a figure that I am much happier with. I went a little bit lighter on the rust. If you actually look at Marrok close up, he does have a little bit more pronounced look than I've got here, but I like it to be a little bit more muted, especially when we're using those Tamiya Dusty kits. But I think this guy is much more suited for my shelf. I think he looks a lot less plasticky, really, and more like just a suit of armor where, I think it gets to the point where when you remove the lightsaber and the cloak, you could put a sword in his hand and he could be like, I don't know, like a Dark Souls character or something. But I'm much happier with this guy with just a couple of simple paint updates. And I certainly encourage anyone who is feeling maybe dissatisfied like I was to take a crack at fixing this guy up, as there really is a great sculpt there. So let me know your thoughts down on the comments below. If you have any other tips as it relates to, different kinds of paints or weathering we might use on a project like this, as I would definitely love to hear your suggestions. And if you were a fan of this video, make sure to check out some of the other tutorials we have up on the channel for different tips and tricks for customizing action figures of your own.